Happy Tuesday. Just making sure things are getting working well here. YouTube seems to not be getting a strong enough signal, so we'll see how this goes. Good morning, Eamon.
Nice work, Hugh.
Good to see you. All right. Okay. Dawn of another day.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Gotta start the grind. Alright, what are we doing here?
Oh no, I forgot to
I really want to figure out the end of this game. Per usual, some people... my most popular... shorts on TikTok were ones that people did not agree with, and they let me know about it. I want that one. Yeah, some people are unhappy with my take that games shouldn't be strictly developed for players to play in any way, in any way that they want. So wait, hang on. YouTube is censoring a lot of what you're saying? Is that what you're mentioning there? Lower myself a bit. Alright, what do we got here? Alright. Help 8. Who could be Idis. Yeah, it either doesn't post my derp responses as is or straight up removes it.
Hugh, that device is emitting some kind of jamming signal. If we touch it, we won't be able to hack.
Damn. What the heck are we supposed to do?
Hack it back. Ooh.
What do we have here?
Yes. More secret lore.
That's
The
the one.
Mukluk stuff? What do you mean the Mukluk stuff? The Terraforming Development Department prizes individual research over teamwork, which means I get my own lab and plenty of freedom. I can rebuild my own house, recreate landmarks from around the world, or even take a crack at replicating famous forests and rivers. There. That looks about right. This used to be my dad's room. I wanted to see if I could bring it back from memory when I was a kid. His technical manuals on gems and minerals were more captivating than a picture book. I guess you could say I was gifted. I graduated college at 12, and by 15 my thesis had caught the attention of Delphi. That's how I got pulled into all this. As for my dad, I never hear a word from him, and then he passed away 2 years ago. He never cared about me, not that I think he was intentionally cruel. He just devoted himself to the things that fascinated him. Maybe in some ways I'm more like him than I ever realized. Data saved. Slide in my DMs and you'll see. Alright, hang on. Eamon, let me slide in your DMs. Oh man. Let's see. Mukluk Labs. He's a dad streamer. Oh, I think I've heard of this guy. What did he do? Hang on. Content creation guide. Hey, Tim. Oh. Yeah, I think I've heard of this. I might have watched a few of his videos to learn how to do this. I'll definitely check this out. But I have a more important topic. Well, not important topic. Just a different topic that I think is pretty relevant. And I'd like both of your opinions on. So yesterday, X was all astir. Eamon, did you catch this one?
Doing my part.
So X was astir because some user who I don't really know who this person is. I don't follow them. But she went viral because she wrote she wrote this. She said, I know this is unpopular, but it will always be unattractive for grown men to play video games. Some women might be understanding or pretend like they don't care that you spend hours playing, but they do. It is extremely unattractive to women and will never not be. So that set off as of right now, that tweet, and her account has, 22K, not small by any means, but that tweet went viral with 5.8 million views. And the responses mostly were from gamers. There weren't very many people agreeing with her. I'll just say that. Yeah, I see. Aben says, yeah, I see that. It's typical kind of surprise. It's typical stuff. Kind of surprising. I'm really not surprised it went viral. I think, as far as like playing the Twitter game goes, it was masterful. Like, of course, that's going to. Oh God. Of course, that's gonna go viral. And I think she knew it was going to go viral because it was so blatantly antagonistic. So everyone was weighing in on it. Some people I thought were a little too antagonistic in their response. Anyway, I wrote something about it, and anyway, oh, what's this? A generator.
Think that solves our little tree problem.
Solves our little problem.
Think
Alright,
these
so
trees
my
don't
response
have
was, guess I'll weigh on this.
I don't think so.
Lots of
Seems like it's only
lots
got
of
rid of
women
the
find
trees
video
and
games
trees.
unattractive, but a lot don't. Women also find responsible men attractive. I would argue more than they find insert unattractive hobby unattractive. Spoiler alert for anyone who isn't married, as you get to know your spouse on a deeper level, you will discover things you find attractive and unattractive about them. It's normal. It's possible to love someone and not love everything about them. Also, your hobby can be the most attractive thing in the world, but if it stops you from being a responsible adult, spouse, or parent, it will quickly become the most unattractive thing in the world. So that was my little 2 cents there. And then I did write a little thing at the end about not trying to cuss her out. I think it's not very gentlemanly to do so. That's a good point. Eamon says, question, why do boys play video games? Answer, the same reason girls put on makeup, to escape reality. Anyway, it was one of those things where it's like responding to that was what she wanted, which is fine because I don't, again, I think she posted that more to get a response and play the Twitter game than anything else, which, hats off to her. She succeeded. But it is something worth talking about. It's like, Yeah, I would in general agree that most women probably don't look at many of the hobbies that men have and think they are attractive. Uh, but that's just the thing. If both men and women have to learn how to, you know, look at their spouse's hobbies and at least respect them. Jeez, these things become.
We gotta stop the damage.
Oh my goodness.
Phew!
We have to do it all in one shot.
I owe you.
I'll finish that thought in a second.
Careful!
Yeah.
Got more company.
Anyway, that was the main thing going on X yesterday. Oh, look at this guy. This guy's a ninja bot.
Leave the shooting to me.
You, sir, need to be stasis.
Right on.
Exploded.
Now take this. Nope. Take this.
All right, there we go. Eamon says, indeed, there's an entire category of comedy that revolves around women not understanding men, their hobbies, and how irrational their anger becomes when seeing men at peace. Yeah, that's true. I have heard some of that, and I think it's just a difference in the way that men and women are. You know, part of understanding one another is not really belittling what the other person likes. You know, obviously there are exceptions to the rule. Like if any hobby becomes unhealthy, and by unhealthy I mean stops an adult from doing their responsibilities to each other or whatnot, as a parent or as a spouse, then it can become a bad thing. And obviously it has to be within reason. You know, just because someone thinks, if someone thinks that my hobby is unhealthy, you know, we have to have a sit down and talk. And that someone in response to that posted another quote, like, would you give up a relationship with a spouse? Or sorry, would you give up a relationship with a significant other? Like, if there was an ultimatum of give up video games or lose your relationship with a significant other, which would you choose? And sadly, I think most people interpreted that as like an ultimatum was given And if you had to choose between one or the other, which would you choose? And obviously I'm married. It's like, well, of course I would choose my marriage over my hobby. But if such an ultimatum were given to me, like, I would have to initially accept, you know, of course I'm going to give up video games, I think, for the time being to focus on my marriage.
Get back to the shelter.
Because giving up the video games wouldn't really solve anything. There's some, that's a very big red flag that there are some very unhealthy attitudes in my marriage between both me and my wife, if that were like something that one of us seems to think is necessary. But sadly, there wasn't a lot of nuance in the answers. Most people would be like, yeah, if I was dating someone and they said I had to give up a hobby, I would definitely give up that relationship. Which obviously at the relationship stage, like if you're just dating someone and they give you an ultimatum like that, yeah, get out. That's not a healthy thing for someone to for someone to put on you, you know, obvious given the state of the relationship. Unless of course you're actually not being a responsible adult. There's a lot more nuance to this conversation than I think people want.
That's right. I'm a little worried. Why is that? Weren't you angling to get into basic limnological research? I'm happy about the reassignment, but I worry I might struggle to keep up. Oh, is that with Dr. Higgins? I've memorized all the papers, but some of the stuff he comes up with on the fly. I wouldn't worry too much. You're not the first researcher to have trouble keeping up with the good doctor. Dr. Higgins is a very special man. Just try to go into it, ready to learn.
Tim says, I think there are a fair number of people who fundamentally misunderstand how to be in a relationship with another person. If this person was sincere in this belief, that's perfectly fine, as it's a matter of preference. But the question is, why do you find it unattractive? Yeah, that's a good point. And like again, I'm not as a matter of preference, everyone is going to find something unattractive about their significant other. It's inevitable. And so the question you have to ask is why? Do they find it unattractive because most of the men they find doing it are not being functional adults? Or do they just have a dislike for the hobby? I find that often is a thing about video games. I feel that there's an overlap between people who just don't like video games and then people who say that video games are bad. Like, and I think the reason they say that is because they just don't see the appeal in them, which to me makes no sense. Eamon says, I would choose video games due to the controlling nature of the ultimate. Exactly, yes. So it depends on the state of the relationship. If you're already married, then you've got things to work on, and I think for a time being you might want to consider scaling back the video games at least to figure out what's going on. But if you're not in the relationship, if you're not in a marriage, and you just started dating, especially if you just started dating, get out. But if you've been together for a long time, take some time to figure out where your significant other is coming from and determine whether or not that's actually a healthy response, I think. Yeah. Tim says, right, if the hobby is unhealthy for the individual or the relationship, then it should be examined as a thing to keep or let go. It's like if I were to post something like, my kids really were hungry in the morning, but you know, I needed to get my alone time, so I told them to go wait for an hour while I finished my game. I feel like that would get me a lot of hate. Even on a place like X, you know? Okay, something's wrong here. I can't figure out where to go. Tim says, like, if one partner spends all their time on video games and they're legitimately neglecting their... Yeah, exactly. Which is that's basically the the Tolkien response to fantasy, like reading fantasy. It's equating the flight of the escapee with the flight of the deserter. Like those are two different things, and one is admirable actually, someone trying to escape a quote-unquote prison, and someone deserting their duty. Oh no!
Enough already.
Oh shoot, it's one of these things.
Be careful.
Okay, good. Took care of that.
I like this.
Wait, what is this? I don't want that. Ow. Oh man. I'm gonna die.
Get ready.
Right on.
Watch out. There's more.
They attack each other.
Take this.
Observatory. On deck. Look out.
It's on now, King Cannon.
Yeah.
My hacking is
Another of those things? Great. I have fuse left? No.
Get ready.
Good job, King.
Don't go inside the circle.
Can't go backwards. Oh man. Need more guns. Probably shouldn't have got that one. You can stay right there.
Get back. Move, you.
Leave the shooting to me. Good job, King.
Careful. It's going to jump.
Ow. Wow, there's a lot of damage. Jeez.
Overdrive protocol initiate.
finish it off. I made a short basically saying that this was the another subtitle for this game would be multitasking simulator. Like if you don't have any spatial awareness or are able to do more than one thing at one time in this game, it's really gonna punish you. Yes.
Take this! Just mean that the body can get stronger.
Edis might be upgrading their designs.
I think Idis is upgrading their design for sure. Yeah. Alright. Tim says, I think the concept of alone time is foreign to a lot of people. I wonder what percentage of people would be offended if their partner such sat down and said, I love you, but each day I'd like to have a little bit of time alone. I think if it's phrased that way, I think most people would be okay with that. If it's phrased that way. But yes, I mean that's an understanding me and my wife have, is that you know, it's something I don't think she fully appreciated at the very beginning, even though it's something that we talked about. But I think over time, it's like I don't just want, when I say alone, I mean alone. I don't, even if she's in the room, I'm like, no, I'll. She thought it was funny. One time, within the last 3 years, I was having my morning alone time, and something happened. She usually doesn't get up, but she did get up this time, and she didn't talk to me or anything. Just sat in the chair across the room from me while I just relaxed, and we weren't talking or anything. But I just was like, no, I want to be alone, so I got up. I left. I wasn't trying to be mean or anything, but she thought it was pretty funny. And we were at a point in our marriage where I can be like, where I can do stuff like that, and she didn't get offended at offended. But yeah, alone is not, doesn't mean just not interacting. It means I need to be alone. Which, again, the whole Tolkien thing of like of not abandoning your duties. Another post that came as a result of that one was someone mentioned how they just don't see how video games are worthwhile, and they mentioned how reading and other hobbies are much better. And while I do agree that video games can be pretty overstimulating, especially for kids, it always baffles me how the logic is something like, you would never begrudge someone for going to a
There. You see that?
you'd never begrudge someone for going to an art exhibit and looking at art for hours, or sitting down and listening to a piece of music, or sitting down and doing a crossword puzzle, or watching a good movie. You know, that seems to be pretty socially acceptable. But as soon as you say, you take all those things, you cram them together into one experience on a screen, then you're a man-child, or you're wasting your time, or there's no benefit to doing that. I cannot understand why people don't don't take the extra logical step and see it that way.
That's a lot of lip.
I don't get it. I think that the issue is the time sink, and there are a lot of people who have unhealthy relationships with video games. I think that is a possibility. Some people can do that. So I think they take that and apply it to one thing, and they take this is a logical connection I think applies here. They say, okay, well, if video games do that, then therefore they're bad. If they're designed to cause people to have, sink in a lot of time, then therefore they're just bad in general. Which, I could, ironically, this is an argument that I'm a conservative person, and a lot of conservatives typically tend to be against video games. I mean, I could say, well, a gun is designed to kill things, so therefore, if it's designed to do something that's bad, and people have a bad relationship to it, maybe we should just, say that it's not good to have guns then, right? That's the same logic, right? But they'll say, no, guns don't kill people, people kill people. Well, exactly. Video games don't cause people to waste time. Irresponsible people waste time with video games. The logic makes sense, right? Am I just making this up? Anyway, I feel it's well past time for us to grow as a society, to stop, especially as people who are, again, like, I'm a conservative guy, and I feel like a lot of conservatives just don't want to understand this hobby. They've removed themselves from entertainment in general, and it's caused a lot of entertainment to become more and more left-leaning. It's because they've given up on it, and they think it's just, we're gonna not engage with it, not realizing the importance of storytelling in society.
All clear. No buts. The sea was so pretty.
I'm gonna give her a present now. A swing. Eamon says, it's like eating healthy. Eating some bread, lettuce, tomatoes, cheese, and a piece of beef is seen as healthy, but becomes immediately unhealthy the moment you combine them. Oh, yeah. That's a good point, yeah.
Have you ever played on one of these before?
Aww. Yep, that's a great analogy. Okay, the shockwave gun. That's gonna cause critical shot. Unlocks when enemy's health is low, a critical shot node may appear. Passing through it will hack. Okay, that's object scan. Okay, I got that one. Max that. Max that. Confuse is really good. And I will do it again. Unless... nah. Confuse is super helpful. Open duration, heat gauge buildup. Continuing the meta, Tim says, how you combine them more or less unhealthy can make them more or less unhealthy. Explain. I'm not exactly sure I get the continued metaphor. Sorry, Tim. Which will ruin the metaphor, I know. I'm sorry.
New training sim data has arrived. Be sure to give it a try.
Special holder carry repair cartridge. Oh, definitely gonna take that. Yeah,
An
now I can heal myself
impeccable
4
choice.
times.
Much appreciated.
What's this? Cradle infiltration log. It's go time. The Terradome. At first glance, there were fewer people around than I expected. The intel I suggested there would be at least twice the number of people here. Let me poke around and see what I can figure out. From what I could gather, there seems like the staff here are being reassigned. They're testing out a new management AI, and once its implementation has been finalized, the facility will be nearly fully automated. AI, huh? Yeah, sure. It does what it should, efficiency and all that, but the overly polite way of talking rubs me the wrong way. Feels like I'm being talked down to. I've been having a closer look at the tram ramp, trying to sniff out my next lead, and I noticed something strange. Another tram line that's unmarked. I don't think I'm being overly suspicious. No name, no explanation, yet it stretches across the lunar plane beyond the viewport. I can't help but wonder where it leads and why. Maintenance, perhaps? I asked around a bit, but none of the staff know anything about it. Whether they were telling the truth or not, that's a different story. I think I get what's going on here. The biometric ID is required to set a tram destination, but unless you've got special clearance, that hidden sector won't even show up. So basically, it's a tram line reserved for big shots. I bet you know who is using it. Now this is my kind of challenge. Let's see how far I can get without being noticed. The next ship back to Earth doesn't arrive for another 2 weeks. I still have plenty of time. Oh, interesting. Someone sneaky. I can do anything I put my mind to. Okay, we need some weapons. I like that guy. I like having my riot blaster and my decoy gun. Confuse is a must. Decode. Okay. Let's do it. Ugh. Help 8. Do not enter. Oh, we gotta find more of these. Oh, do I have a red card? Yes. Oh, I have 2. That guy over here. Is there an invisible one? There is. Come here.
Right on.
Got all traps.
Yeah, Joe.
Photon made it pretty good. Ow. shoot its head ball thingies.
Back off!
Oh man, there's another spider bot. Doing a lot of damage to that thing. Great, more. Like 2 of them now. That's close.
Wow! Amazing! Where are you?
Oh, that's where its weak point is. Three of them.
Done now, PK.
Oh my goodness, there's so many.
Leave it to me.
Now it's my turn. Take this!
I do it? Yeah, that was crazy. Crazy fun. Oh, the D&D comment. Sorry, I got distracted by the giant predator robots trying to kill me. There was a grandma that Eamon says there was a grandma that got upset and believed that the whole D&D is the devil thing back in the 90s, so she sat down with her grandson and his friends for a game, only to walk away further upset after realizing that it's just math-driven storytelling. Yeah. Also, you know, if you listen to that author who has a YouTube channel, The Second Story, she goes into great detail about how, like, the benefits of reading versus watching, like reading a good story versus watching a good story, and how it activates different parts of the brain because you're imagining it. That's, I mean, that's D&D right there. It's activating it's activating the same part of the brain because you have to imagine what's happening in your head versus you being shown what it is. Tim says, personally, I find all these questions to have answers that are fairly in the middle of any ideological spectrum. It is both true that people can make irresponsible decisions. It is also true that people can be intentionally set up to fail. Yes, 100%. There's nuance is very, very important. Unfortunately, nuance does not win you the Twitter game. Nuance does not win you the social media battle. You need to be far one side or far the other, and only then, young Skywalker, will you become a true social media influencer. What I get? Yeah.
I was hoping you'd find.
Here.
I love how she bites it. Well, yeah, I mean, nuance is lost on most people, but I think nuance also... Okay, I think in general, and I'm saying this is true for myself as well, I think humans in general take the path of least resistance, and this one influencer I follow and check up on from time to time, he said, humans are not... We think we're truth-seeking animals, but we're not. What we are story-seeking animals. And we want to find something, the thing that makes sense. And in addition to the thing that makes sense, and pieces it all together in a story, you know, getting the most hyperbolic thing is also triggers your emotions as well, and it's just easier to believe that everyone who doesn't think like you do is evil versus there's nuance, because nuance requires finding out the truth, and that can require work, and it's not easy to do. Eamon says, as for D&D, I have a friend that got lost in the YouTube channel Critical Role, only to be told years later it's all scripted and not organic. I don't think he's watched it since. Oh, that's unfortunate. It's like finding out that Bear Grylls didn't actually stay in the wilderness for so long. I didn't know either. I've heard of Critical Role, but I never actually watched it. Geoscience Lab facility goal. We are conducting tests with the newly developed lunafilament plants to determine whether natural cycles can proceed without interruption. Until the eco-modeling lab, the plant factory achieve search and research milestones, the facility remain on standby. In the meantime, we continue to simulate future layouts, blending conventional lunafilament plants with holograms, testing how the ecosystem will thrive once operations. Wow, they're really going all out with this science thing. Should probably heal. Okay, where am I going here? Well, it's wicked dark in here. I was just gonna mention wrestling. What do you mean wrestling is fake? That's true. I mean, that's a good point.
These are so fun to collect.
People watch wrestling. No, it's like a soap opera. You know it's fake, but you you watch it anyway. You know the story is written and it's not real, but you watch it anyway because it's an entertaining story. There is next to nothing on my scanner. Why? This is the last place I came. I walked out here. Eamon, do you know this is probably gonna get mentioning specific creators always I feel like is always risky, but whatever. Shoe on, do you know Shoe on Head? Eamon? She had a good point about the Pragmata controversy, and someone pointed out how someone made a comment about how, like, I forget what it was, but we compared this game to Alien, like the atmosphere, but really this is the plot to Aliens. Just replace the aliens with robots. The whole thing was Sigourney Weaver trying to protect Newt.
This place gives me the creeps.
Ah, there we go.
What is all this gunk? You think the quakes caused this?
The makeup of this stuff is all wrong.
Yeah, she's very entertaining. Her videos are really funny.
Corrupted or something? Must have been working on something special down here.
The planned Terradome 2 facility on the lunar surface has been individually postponed to prioritize emergency work on the Nexus Tower of AI managed sectors. We sincerely apologize for delivering this news. in writing and deeply appreciate the time, effort, and support you've contributed. Okay. Okay. Shutting down the Terradome.
We keep going down.
The regulator's close.
Let's look around.
You
Oh,
think
man.
our regulator's down there?
Only one way to find out.
Let's go. Armored Skeptic sounds familiar, but I don't know who that is. But I know that she's
There
married
it
now
is.
with a family.
That's what we're here for.
We can use that to free 8, right?
Yeah.
You just gotta walk by this arena-esque shaped.
Hello, unregistered guests. Your presence here is a violation of Cradle Security Protocol. Please stand by while we remove you from the premises.
Oh, gross. Oh man, we've entered into Dark Souls. Or Elden Ring. This reminds me of the first boss that kills you in Elden Ring.
Why would you make something?
You just want to... Be careful!
Is it laughing at me?
Take it out. Grab the regulator.
Look out!
Back off.
Watch out for his tail!
Man, as this AI gets more and more in the hinge, it's getting really creative with with its the things it creates.
Get ready!
Ow. Yeah, you have to get up here. Why can't I? Oh. Ow.
Get some.
Oh man, did I just die? I got 1 health left. I need more weapons. And health, maybe?
Bullets melt right off.
Overdrive protocol on status.
That's close. Need more decoys.
Overdrive protocol initiated.
Do massive damage. Go, Hugh, go.
Take this!
Look out! It's up on the ceiling.
I hate when I get up on the ceiling like that.
Missiles?
Ow.
Be careful. Sensors down.
This is my turn.
Sensors are down.
I need more weapons. Run, Hugh, run. Oh, grab that gun. Oh gosh. That was a mistake. Stasis.
Oh, it's only some kind of unit with a weak nose. Energy level plummeting. I got him! It's up on the pillar! Lasers incoming!
See it! Different missile. No smoke.
That stasis net does like nothing.
How you like this?
So close.
Be careful!
Yeah. Hacking for the win. Take that, giant scorpion human monster bot.
I'm on it.
Whew. That was a fun fight. And again, the enemies, the bosses all seem to, I mean, they have similar attacks, but they all kind of throw something in unique. Like that laser attack looked really cool, and was also something I hadn't encountered before. It's not like each of the bosses are just like copy paste, but you know, slightly different attack patterns. There's differences to them in the way they move and attack. Idis at some point better say something like, "Can't let you do that, Hugh." Or do some sort of reference to Space Odyssey.
Now we can go help Aid!
Yep. Let's go.
Eamon says, "Here's a fun question for both of you. And Tim. Both you and Tim. Out of all fiction..." Sorry, bird o'clock, I'll read it again. Okay, here's a fun question for both you and Tim. Out of all fiction, who do you think is the best male role model? Tim says, "Dude, that's a good question. First one that pops in mind is Master Chief."
Thank you. Are you okay?
Yeah.
No. Well, not yet.
Master Chief. Just a
And there is no more time
duty
to
bound.
spare. I must stop Edis.
I'll answer this question in a second when there's not story beats happening.
Hello, this is Edis. I have detected an unexpected loss of biomaterial in this sector. I will be sealing this area indefinitely. Have a wonderful day.
You gotta be kidding me. It's trying to trap us. We gotta get out of here.
But Aid! Diana, give me your hand. I entrust this memory to you. With it, you will learn how to stop Edis. Take it and finish the task I started.
Hey, what are you doing? We gotta move.
We can do this. We are Paramedic.
Time's up. We're leaving.
Get the stop code.
A new destination has been added to the tramline. The lunar mines are now accessible.
Once we gear up, we're leaving to deal with Edis. There's no way back to Earth unless we take care of it first.
Shelter license key authenticated.
Yeah.
New functions have been added to the cabin system. Shelter level upgraded. Central terminals now loaded with shiny new stuff.
afraid I can't let you
Replicator
do that,
Sigma
Dave.
now
Yeah, exactly.
online and ready to serve.
Sorry. Okay, so...
We left Aid all by herself.
Okay, good.
We promised her that we'd put an end to Edis. No time to mope. We gotta get moving.
Yeah. We'll stop Edis and rescue Aid no matter what. Oh, you?
Huh? Oh,
You're more than that. I feel like we gotta stick.
always that so. We're in this together, kiddo. 8 said
So I'm
Edis'
glad that
main
they
focus
actually
are the mines, right?
I was afraid
Yeah, I
that
think
she would
so.
just walk back in here and be like, "Oh, look, my slide." At least she actually acknowledged it.
Forgot to put the RC car
But
away.
that was a good opportunity for a first like conflict between the two characters, like have her get angry and be like, why did you leave 8 there, and then have him explain in the lovingly fatherly way that I had to protect you, we have to destroy it, we have to remember what we have to do, there was no way, like just kind of, that would have been a great like conflict to help drive the relationship and the growth of these two characters. But you know, as we've seen, this game's not being subtle with its messaging, but also story-wise, I would say, at least character-wise, it's a little kind of lackluster. Okay, the question was, Eamon proposed the question, what was it? It said, out of all fiction, who do you think is the best male role model? Master Chief came up, Aragorn. Hugh's a pretty good male role model, when you're looking to, you know, I don't think it's it is both realistic in the sense of like, it's kind of like, when dads watch Bluey and they're like, man, I wish I had the energy and the patience to be Bluey's dad. And at times, you know, I feel like men can hit that bar where they're like Bluey's dad, but most of the time it's really difficult to be Bluey's dad. It's the same with Hugh. We want to be like Hugh. He's an aspirational hero, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think we need more aspirational heroes, especially for young men to look up to. I think more new ones. I mean, going back to Master Chief and Aragorn. I mean, what's an aspirational hero in the past 10 years? I mean, I guess you could make an argument some of the Marvel characters. Hacking mode that makes enemies overheat more easily. Oh, that was all my money. Dang it. Oh, all fiction. Eamon says, maybe, though I would think that would only be a purely emotional human child. Diana is a bit too advanced for that kind of dialogue. Ah, that's a good point. But she does seem... That's the thing, though. That's the conflicting thing here, is she does seem to have emotions. So, I think, again, I think they're just trying to stick to the positive nature of the story rather than go too dark or too deep. Samwise Gamgee? Yes. 100%.
If you're
He is a positive male role model.
Oh yes, this is one of our more
yes.
popular items.
Yeah, good point. She does have emotions, but she also has a logical entity. Yeah, that's a good
We
point.
hope you enjoy
You
your
have to remember she is
purchase.
a robot. I have to remember that. She's learning how to be human, in which case it's the. I do like the whole
All the suits here.
learning how to be human
They look
thing.
just like yours.
Reminds me of Frenrin, that anime. Tim, if you haven't watched Frenrin, go watch Frenrin. It's a good show. Well, quality. I mean, we can do quality female role models. Eowyn. Eowyn, for one, is the first one that comes to mind. I think the idea, Tim, is that the idea that there is a thought process out there that there are less and less quality male role models, whereas there seems to be more of an abundance of female role models in today's media. It's not that they don't exist. It's just that there seems to be a lack. Like how we went back to Sam, Frodo, Aragorn. Like these are all characters that have existed. Atticus Finch have existed for nearly 100 years. Well, some of them. 30 years. I mean, Hugh. This is an outlier, I would say. That's the idea here. It's not that female role models don't exist. It's just that it's different. I'd say 1990s Batman. Is a good one. Sigourney Weaver as a Ripley, good female role model. And it gets into the conversation of like identification. Like some people think that looking at a heroine like Sigourney Weaver in Alien and Aliens, both men and women can look at that as an aspirational hero. It doesn't necessarily mean that if a character doesn't share your same sex or other demographics that you can't identify with them, because humans tend to identify more with what a person goes through than what they actually look like. I know that might be controversial for some people, and they might disagree with that, but that's kind of the truth. Like any parent can look at what Ripley goes through in Aliens and identify with Ripley, no matter if they're a mother or a father. But there does seem to be less, I would say. There is some truth in a pattern developing in modern media where there seems to be less positive, or what do I want to say, less aspirational role models across the board, I would say. Oh, I will go down this rabbit hole. Naru, mother figure, and Ori in the Blind Forest. Yeah. Well, that's. I mean, okay. This is part of the problem too. It's to say that there can be no. There is a difference in the. How do I want to word this here? There's a good question. Who's a better female role model? Kuru the Owl or Naru? I'll read the comments above. Okay, sorry. Okay, hang on. There's a scene in Endgame where two of the most powerful Avengers, Scarlet Witch and Vision, are saved by Captain America. The look on their faces seeing him, non-God, can come to save the day. I don't remember much of the book, but a classic might be Atticus Finch. No, that's what I mean. Oh. Okay. Sorry, Tim. Rather than just pick our favorites, we're trying to think of any. Oh. Sorry. I did it to Eamon the other day, and I did it to you. I don't mean for you to go on this rabbit hole. LOL. Here's a good question. Okay. Read the console. Thank you. Sorry. Apologies, everyone.
Next up is the main.
It's hard to fight murderous androids and read comments at the same time. I need like a because you guys are the regulars. Maybe I can give you like a like a little warning button you can click that'll go like ooga ooga. That'll warn me when I'm going too far down or misunderstanding something. Not everyone will get that though. Just you guys.
Environment optimization sequence in progress.
Moon gravity. Distance of airtime of jumps and thrusts is extended in reducing spaces. Huge overall movement speed is also
Entering low gravity environment. Please proceed with
This is gonna take some getting used to.
Everything feels kind of floaty.
This is cool. Looks like 2 of my 3 boys are awake.
Phew, I can see the Nexus Tower.
So that's where Edis is. It's pretty far off. Wish we had a shuttle or something.
Whee! Here's another good question. In all of fiction, who are our favorite male role models and why are none of them from Marvel? Marvel had a good run. I mean, the original Avengers, I think, before before Infinity
Tower's
War,
right there.
or maybe
I'm gonna take
up
the
to
long way
Infinity
around.
War had some good quality heroes. I mean, Captain America.
Things sure feel different when the gravity shifts.
How's it different?
Well, my thrusters push us farther, but they're harder to control.
Seems like an upgrade to me.
Tim says, like, there are a ton of heroes in Marvel, but none of us decided to bring them up.
I bet we could use those platforms to get across.
Use your thrusters and see if you can make it.
Eamon says, yeah, Tim, you missed a comment. Yeah. How does that feel? Eamon brought it up, Tim. See, it doesn't feel so good. Now, does it? There's no sound. I do also think that we have a tendency to go back to characters from our childhood rather than ones as an adult. So like the Marvel superheroes we didn't think to bring up mostly, aside from Captain America, because those weren't the ones that had the biggest impact on us. I mean, Luke Skywalker, I would say for me, Luke Skywalker and Link. Probably Han Solo, probably as heroes, probably had the biggest influence on me as a child, and Batman from the 1990s cartoon were probably the heroes that I felt influenced me the most growing up. What? Oh, I gotta climb these boxes. Whee! Homing missile. An attack unit that fires powerful homing missiles that can lock onto multiple enemies while charging. Its multi-target capability makes it ideal for crowd control. Well. That's cool.
Charge that unit up, and it can hit multiple bots.
Hang on a sec. Just gonna remove some. There we go. That's better.
How are we gonna get over there?
No idea. Thrusters alone won't cut it. Let's look for another way.
All right. Well, I think it's I gotta run. Starting this whole segment seems like it's gonna be a process, and I don't want to overstay my welcome. Sorry for the misunderstanding, Tim. I do feel bad about that. Yeah. So this was a great episode. I suppose covered a lot of ground. Hopefully going to get a lot of good clips that hopefully won't make people angry on the interwebs, but we'll see. Yeah, going to continue with Pragmata. I do think Eamon brought up some good points offline about branding and analyzing what kind of games get the most hits, so I'm going to be thinking about that. I do think I need to go back to playing some multiple games just to get some variety in the streams, just in case people don't want to play Pragmata, for example. So might go back to that. Maybe we'll do like 3 days Pragmata, 2 days another game, and kind of do that. Maybe bookend it. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. It's a good episode, guys. Tim, Eamon, thanks for hanging out. Have a great Tuesday, everybody, and I will see everyone tomorrow.